Namaste, angels. This will be our full moon in Capricorn reading. The full moon has actually entered Capricorn at this point that I'm doing the reading. I apologize for the lateness. I usually like to do it a little bit in advance of an event like this. But it is Thursday, June 28th at 2:07 a.m. and the full moon entered the zone at 12:53 a.m. So an hour ago, a little over an hour ago. Full moon, 6 degrees, Capricorn 28. I'm going to go over the retrogrades really quickly from www.findyourfate.com just so we can get an idea of what's going on. So Mercury not yet in retrograde, but I wanted to let you guys know that it does enter shadow this week during the period of the 2 weeks that for which this full moon will cover on July 7th. At 2:37 p.m., 11 degrees, Leo 32, Mercury enters its RX zone, doesn't go full-on retrograde until the end of the month, July 26. So after we enter, after the sun enters Leo as well. Going down to Mars. Mars entered retrograde on the 26th. Again, today is the 28th, so it's been there for 2 days. When it entered its RX zone, it too was in Capricorn. Both of Scorpio's rulers were in Capricorn. But now that it is in full-on retrograde, it is in Aquarius. It's going to remain there for a while, to the end of August. Jupiter, about to go direct. So, okay, we can get excited about that. But right now it is still in retrograde. Speaking of Scorpio, Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio as of March 8th of this year, going direct during the period of this 2 weeks, July 10th. Jupiter goes direct at 11:59 a.m., 13 degrees. Scorpio 21, 13, also the number which represents the sign of Scorpio in the tarot, or represents the major arcana card Death, which represents the sign of Scorpio. Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, where the full moon is going to be, and Saturn, which rules Capricorn, retrograde there. It entered retrograde on April 17th of this year and will remain in retrograde. Doesn't go direct until September 6th. So it's there. And it's in Capricorn the whole time that it's retrograde. Uranus in the RX zone doesn't go full on retrograde until August, but it's in its, again, it's in the zone in Aries. Neptune in retrograde, entered retrograde on June 18th of this year. So just earlier this month at 3:44 p.m., 16 degrees Pisces. It stays there till the end of November, till like Thanksgiving, November 24th. And it's like Saturn, which is retrograde in Capricorn, which it rules and for quite some time and staying in Capricorn the whole time. Neptune is in Pisces, which it rules and will remain there the entire time it's in retrograde as well. And lastly, Pluto, also in retrograde, into retrograde on April 22nd of this year at 6:07 a.m., 21 degrees Capricorn 17. And it remains there until September 30th. So I'll quickly let you guys know from here what that means. Mars takes approximately 2 years or 687 days to do a complete revolution around the sun. Mars moves into retrograde every 2 years plus 2 months, and then it stays that way for about 55 to 80 days. When Mars goes retrograde, any direct action becomes difficult. Traveling with can be difficult, and finishing tasks that have been left incomplete. Redoing, renovating, and repairing work will be, a little bit easier than trying to start something new, a new venture. Jupiter takes around 12 years to do a complete revolution around the sun. Jupiter goes retrograde every year for around 120 days. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it's a good time to review our visions, ideals, and belief systems in life. Saturn takes around 29.5 years to do a complete revolution around the sun. Saturn goes into retrograde every year for around 140 days. When Saturn goes retrograde, it's a good time to revisit our relationships, to work on long-term goals, responsibilities, and duties. And it is a good time to restructure the way that we manifest our reality and to find new attitudes toward obstacles. Uranus takes around 84 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending about 7 years in each sign of the zodiac. Uranus moves into retrograde approximately every year for 148 days. When Uranus goes retrograde, our inner freedom is the focus. Neptune takes around 164 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending around 14 years in each sign of the zodiac. Neptune moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 150 days. When Neptune goes retrograde, our spirituality, inner tranquility, and our vision become the focus. And again, lastly, Pluto. Pluto takes 248 years to do a complete revolution around the sun, thus spending around an average of 21 years in each sign of the zodiac. Pluto moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 5 or 6 months. When Pluto goes retrograde, it's a good time to reflect on how we do with change and transformation. So I wanted to go over those because it's not only the full moon, there's so much stuff going on at once. There's going to be a lot of things on which to focus, and it's kind of hard to blame the energy on any one thing. And I think these other factors may weigh a little bit more heavily than the full moon, to be honest with you. That's my opinion. But I'm also going to go to www.almanac.com, as I always do, to let you know what they say about the full moon. Full moon for June 2018, it's called the full strawberry moon. And this full moon got its name from the Algonquin tribes, who knew that it was a signal to gather the ripening fruit of the wild strawberries. It has also been known as the honey moon, the mead moon, and the full rose moon, particularly in Europe. This is an age-old practice, nothing new. Ancient peoples commonly tracked the seasons by following the lunar calendar. For millennia, people across the world, including Native Americans, named the months after nature's cues. Later, colonial Americans adopted many of the Native American names and incorporated them into the modern calendar. The full moon for June rises late on Wednesday, June 27th, or in the wee hours of Thursday, June 28th, depending upon your time zone. So as I told you, from my time zone, it happened about an hour ago, 12:53 a.m. Moon facts and folklore. A growing moon and flowing tide are lucky times to marry. Days following both the new and full moons are most likely to be rainy or stormy, and there is warning around the country in the United States. I know some of you watch me from other continents. I have clients on every continent of the globe except Antarctica. Isn't that amazing? It's wonderful. Such a blessing. So I know that you guys don't know that some of you are in other places, but in America there are storm warnings across the country. Also, crabbing and shrimping, as well as clamming, are best when the moon is full. Who knew? All right, so I'm also going to go to this month. We're doing Astrology King. I think this is my first time ever looking at anything from here. I'll just do the summary. Full moon summary from www.astrologyking.com. Saturn retrograde so close to the June 28th full moon will make you feel sad, guilty, hesitant, fearful, restricted, or confined. Relationship problems, cold emotions, negative behavior patterns, and bad habits could make your life more difficult. But at the same time, you'll want to break free of such limiting factors. Yeah, I'm going to pretty much agree with that part. I don't know about the sad and all that kind of whatnot. Maybe for other people, but I haven't been seeing that really for divine unions. I think that we're more impacted by, like I said, the other stuff that's going on in divine beings. But anyway, I'll continue with this just in case it does apply to somebody. It says at the same time, you'll want to break free of these limiting factors. I definitely feel that more so. We're going to be trying to get away from this crap. A positive fixed star is even closer to the full moon, which gives the initiative and resources to make the changes you want. Okay, so now he's sounding more like how I've been thinking. A positive aspect to Uranus also brings opportunity and the desire for positive change. However, the relative weakness of Uranus and the fixed star compared to the restrictive inhibiting powers of the Saturn retrograde means that you'll have to show great willpower and determination to force through the change you want or need. I think we can do that with guidance and knowing what it is we need to do, especially on an individual basis. If you get individual readings, whether they be from me or somebody else or some other, or you're doing them yourself, or, you know, there's some other concrete guidance that you can follow that you trust or whatever. I think with that and healing and inner work, as they call it, where again, whether it's from me or somewhere else, you have that willpower and determination and know on what to focus. Working in your advantage is the previous new moon. Absolutely. I've been talking about the Gemini new moon because I was shown a huge vision about how that sparks so many things and how important and pivotal the fact that it was 22 degrees, master number 22 degrees Gemini, or 1111, how important that was. So this is an agreement. It says working in your advantage is the previous new moon, which also lasts for another 2 weeks up to the July 12th solar eclipse. I was shown this as well, but I was shown even further than that, that energy is going to be involved and impactful as related to the full solar eclipse in August as well. The June 2008 new moon continues to bring good fortune and protection to yourself and your loved ones. It is a sign of good fortune and lasting happiness. I think the Gemini new moon also brought new ideas and new information, new means of communication. I've been saying this since it happened too. Also added to that, as far as I'm concerned, is the fact that both of Gemini's rulers, Mercury and Venus, will be in Leo and will be particularly expressive about things about which we're passionate and things we love. And we could fall in love with new things, people, and places. Just because, yeah, we're getting finished with projects that maybe we had left incomplete. Relationships that we had left incomplete, things that went unsaid that needed to be said, revisiting those and getting them out. That's what I see. I'm no longer reading from astrology.com. I put my laptop away and that was for me. Okay, I'm going to the dice, beginning with massage, cocktail, and email, speaking of communication. Spirit says stay in bed, forget it, and party. Talking about breaking free and doing what you want to do. Stay in bed and party and forget it. Sounds like, yeah, just like whatever you want to do is what you're doing. I'm beginning with the energy of embrace. I'm going to do a spread from the perspective of the masculine. Embrace is, for me, like temperance in the traditional tarot, which represents the sign of Sagittarius. This looks like a couple in the very, tight and loving hug or embrace. It really is one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together in a healthy and harmonious way. So what we all want to achieve. And opening two, that divine guidance I was just talking about, the energy of 8, which is following us. 8's all about karma, justice, abundance, infinity, or the infinity symbol. Full moon, all about feminine energy, and particularly for me, further to that, feminine energy of surrender, letting go and letting God, as they say, or just following, again, the divine guidance, the universe. Embrace and abundance. Speaking of abundance, this could be a representation of the planet Venus, which rules the energy of abundance. Abundance comes in many forms. That is love, that is finances, career, material things. Abundance and heaven on earth indicates a need to let go of something onto which we've been holding that's taking up space in our lives, and we really need to vacate that space. We want to be able to experience heaven on earth. Like, we want to be able to live now, enjoy life now. Like, don't bring me flowers when I'm dead, give them to me now. You know, let's not y'all turn up at my wake or repast or whatever. Let's turn up now so I can party too, like that sort of thing. In order to do that, you got to get the obstacle out of your way. There's something onto which you're holding. It's kind of like the energy of the world, where something should have ended. You know it should have ended. You kept trying to force it to work. It's not working, whether it's a job, a relationship, some other sort of circumstance or whatever. Maybe it was easier for you to stay, but not really. Not if you're inside, it's killing you. Not if you're miserable. Not if your heart wants to be somewhere else doing something else. So you really got to vacate the space if you want to be able to experience the heaven now. Live in the present, live in the now. You know, hashtag YOLO. Abundance. I'll do one more. And it is transmutation. Any negative emotions or attachments that may be part of that heaven on earth energy that's holding us back, like that thing that's holding us back, maybe tied to some, you know, regret, resentment. I really can't stand my husband or my wife, but, you know, if I leave, then what happens to the kids? Well, the kids might be happier too, because believe it or not, they can sense the negative energy and the misery, and are healthier for it when they're raised in a healthier home also, absent of, you know, arguing or people avoiding each other and not speaking because they don't want to argue, and, you know, void of love. They don't thrive in that kind of environment either. A lot of times we figure, like, I got to stay miserable. I got to stay with some spouse, you know, with whom the love was lost a long time ago for the kids. And it's really not true. That's really not true. People are finding ways to co-parent separate, you know, and apart from one another without having an involvement, a romantic involvement any further together every day. Anyway, those negative emotions that come with all that kind of stuff, a job that, like, well, I'm just going to stay here because I need money, but I hate my job. I hate coming here. I hate waking up in the morning to go, but I'm just going to stay. Rather than, it's easier than looking for a new job. So we take the easy way out and we make ourselves miserable. So is that the easy way out? I think not. All of those feelings, we take them and we turn them into something positive instead, turn them around. That's what transmutation is about. And we feel instantly lighter when we do something better with that energy. And it helps us to become more abundant, right? As we ascend, the flow of abundance opens up. When people say, all of a sudden, like everything good is happening all at once in my life, you know, you start to be like, I'm getting so many blessings. Yeah, they come like that. You get showered with them. Similar to how more negatively people say when it rains, it pours. When you're all blocked up, then yeah, the negative things are you know, raining upon you. But when the flow is open, the blessings are. It's elementary, basically. Abundance. I'm going to cut. How funny is that? I began with this energy of embrace, and what I said was Sagittarius for me, the energy of temperance, the energy of healing one's inner self, doing the inner work so that our inner masculine and feminine can come together harmoniously and join with another's of the same, you know, vibration. And here we are back again. Speaking of the need for healing, the overall energy is meditation. Divine feminine, masculine about the feminine as it relates to the energy of the full moon and this period of the next 2 weeks, about himself and the union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine to do during this period toward the union. Do, contribute, surrender what he himself is willing to. What the universe would have the two to do. And the outcome. Divine feminine. Reflection. So how do we figure out, like, about the heaven on earth thing? How do we figure out what it is we need to remove or add? And how to go about it? Well, that's you looking back on your life and thinking, what should I have brought with me from my past that I didn't? And is it too late for me to go back and collect it? And what did I bring that I should have dropped like a hot fucking rock, but I packed it up anyway, and that's why my bags are so heavy and my energy is so heavy. Looking around at the present, the same thing, and looking toward the future. What do I want to take with me? What do I not want to take with me? Where am I going? All right, what does my future look like? What are my dreams? What are my goals? I might not be able to enact any of that right now during this period of the Capricorn full moon. I may feel restricted. I may feel further restricted because of the planets that are in retrograde, but I can plan. I can dream. I can look forward. That's what reflection is. Masculine about the feminine. Love. Love. Need I say anything more? Love is the only thing that's real. So he is in a place of truth and reality across dimensions of consciousness. Love is the only, again, as the only thing that's real. It's the only constant. So whatever level, alternate reality, or whatever one's individual dimensional reality is, this remains. Everything else is an illusion. Masculine about himself. Look at all this fire energy again coming through. I started with that temperance card, which is fire, represents Sagittarius. That heaven on earth is fire to me. Also air comes into play with that heaven on earth card. The love card brings in these fire energies again. And the masculine has paired it, and it's like a color scheme here, with golden memories. And there's a theme. I'm going to get to what the theme is. And it involves this reflection, and it involves the heaven on earth. Golden memories. I just talked about dropping things like a hot fucking rock. This is it. This is where I got that from. The lava and the hot rocks and stuff. Yeah, it's burning a hand through it. You only got to take the golden memories with you, the positive stuff, and leave the negative stuff behind, or transmute it to love, but not bring it with you into the future. We can't. There's certain stuff we have to leave behind, and certain people we have to leave behind. Some things are just meant for a season. Some relationships are just meant for a season. Even familial ones. Sometimes even some people in our family, we have to love them from a distance. Whatever your situation is, we're not wanting to take any negative energy with us forward, okay, because that holds us down. That's what golden memories is about. So that's why I was saying it's connected to this energy of reflection and energy of heaven on earth, because it's about either leaving what you don't need behind, or taking that energy that is residual from it, and changing your perspective and turning that energy into love and using it toward furthering your ascension and that of, your space, the earth around you too. The union as a whole, the masculine about the union as a whole, divine guidance. So right now, the two of us separately and collectively, and on the broader scale, like all the divine beings and their unions, we are in this period of karma, of abundance, of justice, of this energy of 8. And, the events that are connected to this moon, as far as I know, again, taking place in August. Now, I was shown that date of 8/11, but I mentioned, I think in last week's general reading, that, I also realized that covers the period of the Lion's Gate too, which this year will begin, or should begin around 8811. That'll be the date. 2018 equals 11. So 8811. Again, feminine energy of surrender too. So we're both guided to surrender to the guidance and to work on this healing and getting better now in preparation. Overall, more of the same. Healing and getting better in preparation. Healing sounds. This directs us to, add some sort of audio. It can be, I like binaural tones, but it doesn't have to be that. Any genre of music that you're into, it can be some sort of guided meditation or motivational speaker. People like to listen to things like that. Whatever is healing to you that, you can stop and listen to, and connected to that abundance card, if you can do it outside, to spend some time in nature too. The abundance card that had the naked female, so she's in surrender also. That's the feminine energy of surrender. She's naked, she's nude, she's vulnerable, she's in surrender. And her flow of abundance was opening up. So you can kill two birds with one stone, as they say, by doing this healing meditation, essentially. And if you live in an area that's at all conducive to doing it outside, then you're handling two items at once. What would the masculine have the feminine do toward the reading, toward the union this week? And it is more the same. This healing of herself. If you can become whole as an individual, we can, join together. Because I'm working on the same thing here. I'm following guidance too, is what this means. This also is an indication that, he wants the feminine to know that the universe is here to help her. That it's, again, all attached to this divine guidance. She doesn't have to try to figure this out. How can I come back into wholeness alone? There's a karmic energy. This energy of 8, that Jupiter, that is helping her to do this. If she, surrenders to it and seeks it and surrenders to it and accepts it. What is he willing to do? The same thing. Feminine energy of surrender. And allowing the universe to guide him. And he's going to follow it. He's going to follow through. So again, getting, watching these collective readings. Getting individual readings for yourself. Working on healing. Having somebody help you with healing. However you go about it. But follow through. That's required. We can't just watch the reading, turn on, let me watch another one, let me watch somebody else, and let me do, and never actually do any of the stuff. That's not going to be helpful to you. What would the universe have both to do, contribute, surrender, work on? Healing. I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but it is what it is. Healing, again. And this one is probably for me, strongest card of healing, or the indication of the need for healing. Because this woman I see as scarred, like down but not out. I see scars on her neck. I see scars on her face. And still, she's at peace. She feels, she looks like she feels blessed to be receiving this healing. She's not pained. She's not afraid. She is in full surrender. She's completely vulnerable. I see her breasts here, which indicates to me that she's nude too. Nude, scarred, head tilted back, eyes closed. She's completely accessible to anything that would want to do her harm, but she's not worried about that. Whatever she has to do to receive this healing, that's her focus. This is where we need to be too. And the outcome here. So we can start anew, blessings coming, birth of new things, and very divine new start, a blessed new start, certainly of the universe, with this very Pentecostal dove appearing here, and these 3 rays, to me, are indicative of the Pentecost and what that represents. People read the scriptures, but they don't read the scriptures. All this stuff is hidden in plain sight. You know, you hear people talking about, oh, who believe in it, Jesus haven't been risen, whatever. And yes, that is written there, but it's also written there that other saints, and you can Google it, you don't have to trust me, other saints were also risen at that time and walked the earth with him for the next 40 days too. So think of it as an extension of that. And, you know, we're among the other saints being born again and being given a fresh start after this healing and maybe some, like the death of the old me. When the old you is dead and gone, then this, right? The universe will raise you up yet again. Speaking of the universe, from the universe's perspective, I'm beginning with control, manipulation, or being manipulated, right? You are the manipulator, or you're being manipulated. You might be standing in your own way. Might be, you know, pulling your own strings, or handing over the reins to somebody else and allowing them to jerk you around, jerk your chain, as they say. This could be us having control issues as well. And opening 2, courting man. Control. And brunette female, which represents the quote-unquote karmic female energy in this deck for me. Often a Cancer or a Leo, Cancer, Cuspian. Control. Family, which may be representative of some sort of party of 3, possibly a love triangle, but not necessarily. Your family manipulating you, or you feeling as if that's happening, or you feeling out of control. Your family sort of, again, dictates how you live and what you do, or vice versa. Control. Fair male, which represents the quote-unquote karmic male energy for me in this deck. Also, it's kind of like the energy of the devil for me, which represents the sign of Capricorn. So appropriate and fitting for our Capricorn full moon reading. This could be the energy of Saturn and that restriction that we're experiencing, or we may experience with the energy of Saturn and the Capricorn. And the retrogrades. Control, one more. And gifts. This too we can expect to come on as we go through the healing, the spiritual gifts increasing, as we've also seen. And it's blonde female, who's actually a redhead, if you ask me. And this is the representation for me in this deck of the divine feminine. In the traditional tarot, it's fire energy, right? The queen of fire is considered the representation of the divine feminine. And, you know, here it's a similar energy for me as well. That represents the divine feminine. Overall energy is beauty queen, which is the energy of like Venus for me. Venus, the planet and goddess of beauty, popularity, abundance, confidence, like all things awesome. Divine couple, masculine's higher self. I'm all out of order. I don't know why I'm being moved to do this. Near future, recent past. I've never done it in this order before. Blocks to the union. What the feminine can do, the masculine can do. Further advice from the universe and the outcome. Divine couple. Children. So this is that new start again, the birth. This is like the energy of the Major Arcana card 3. also can be representative of a party of three, but three, which two is the Empress in the traditional tarot, and also represents the planet and goddess Venus for me, similar to our overall energy. It's about, fertility, the birth of new things, maybe actual people, children, but not necessarily, just new opportunities, new mechanisms and means towards abundance of all forms. Recent past, dealing with some sort of karmic issue of a past love. Yeah, what else is new, right? Near future, more of that, past life, and that's understandable too. Again, that's the period through which we're going, the retrogrades, the eclipses, these moons, at least until August from what I've seen. Masculine's higher self right now, courting man. I like where he is. And I like the fact that I was made to go out of order in laying my cards. They turn out like this. Blocks to the union over this period. Twin flame is the block. Maybe too much focus on this. Too much consumption and not enough concern with ourselves. I also posted something. I had written something the other day that said, basically, like, obsession with the concept and the title is a block. Obsession with the concept of twin flame and the labeling and wanting to call yourself this, that, or the other thing is in itself a block and holds many of us back. I posted this on my Facebook maybe 2-3 weeks ago, or within like the past 2 weeks or so. So those of you who are on there, a lot of you guys saw it and agreed. And that's what's coming through now with this. So let's yes, we have to acknowledge the connection, or it helps to acknowledge the connection. But no, we can't force the masculine or anybody else to acknowledge it. Anybody who hasn't awakened to it yet. We didn't wake ourselves up, and we can't go around waking up other people. That's between, each individual and the universe. And we cannot force this concept, awakening, energy, label, any of it on anyone else. What we can do is work on our past life issues and this healing so that this will come together on its own in the near future. We'll get that new start. What else can the feminine do here? See? This is what you're supposed to be working on, your obstacles. You're handling your situations. What's holding you back? What's limiting you? That's what you need to focus on. Not so much this right now. And the masculine, travel. Now for some, this is actual travel, or at least in part, that's going to be coming in. There may be difficulty, again, traveling right now for more than one reason. Because of the Mars retrograde, but also, again, because Mercury begins to approach its shadow. Mercury enters shadow of its retrograde zone, again, on the 7th of July. But from a metaphorical point of view, this is revisiting a lot of our past situations. And it's here facing the past life, the masculine revisiting his past life. And that may involve the feminine and some of these obstacles that she's working on too. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you guys coming together and working together to heal something, as well, as long as that's what the guidance is. Further advice from the universe. True love. This is all that matters. It matters more so than this label. Twin flame, than this concept. This is what matters. The actual feeling, the actual emotion, the actual energy. Because again, it's the only thing that's real. So it's our driving force, like literally. Outcome. True gem. All the wonderful stuff that the Gemini new moon sparked. You're going to end up with something super, super valuable that you feel worthy of. Finally, like deserving of, because that's a problem with this too, particularly for the masculine. And it's sitting here atop, his cards, particularly for the masculine. It's like Like, why? Why do you want to have this connection with me? Or why do you feel you have this connection with me? Why do you want to, why do you love me so much? I'm a screw up. That's, tends to be the feeling of the masculine. I can't get my shit together. I can't get my life in order. Every time I think I'm on the right path, something goes wrong. I'm not. Why me? Like, I don't trust this. But with this coming around to this is finally feeling deserving and worthy. And that the other partner is the same too. They are worth it. And the whole thing is worthwhile. It can actually be some rings and stuff purchased too. I was just made to see fear. I was trying to pick up the cards and drop this down. So this is, again, that's basically what I was just talking about with the masculine. It's fear. It's fear. It's confusion. He's just overwhelmed. Speaking of the masculine, going to my angel tarot and begin with the King of Fire, which is a representation of the divine masculine in the tarot. Motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic is the King of Fire. He's also a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, maybe even a Scorpio. Both Aries and Scorpio ruled by Mars. Focus, 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 and communicate with vision. Be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. Opening to the Knight of Air is intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. The Knight of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and can actually represent also Mercury or Venus, both of which are actually rulers of Gemini. Venus also a ruler of Libra. And the reason I say that is because the day after this full moon, on the 29th, Mercury enters Leo. Venus is already there. Also, speaking of fire and air, Mars retrograde in Aquarius. Knight of Air. And the Magician, which represents the sign of Gemini for me too, but I also attach it to the other mutable signs, Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces. You are ready. You have the resources or the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. The Magician is all about manifestation, bringing into your life what it is you need, you desire, you want, because you can. You have the ability to do that with your thoughts, with your words, what you speak over your life, what you believe about yourself. If you, believe it, you can receive it. Magician. Nine of Fire. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. Knight of Fire is all about perseverance. Continuing to push on, even though we feel tired. We're, just down and out. The universe taps us on the shoulder to say, no, you're not out. You still got it. And get yourself up. It helps you to pull yourself up and keep going because you're almost done. Awesome. The overall energy is another 8. It's Major Arcana card 17 equals 8. The Star, which represents the sign of Aquarius, and the planet Uranus, which rules Aquarius. All about dreams coming true, prayers being answered, wishes being granted. Also about communication. Uranus and Aquarius, all air signs are communication signs. But Uranus and Aquarius in particular, ruling technology, and that's why I tend to connect them to like electronic communication, like email and social media and online dating and texts, and also telepathy. Crowning the masculine, the page of fire is outgoing, creative, confident, mischievous, news of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. Page of fire for me is a Sagittarius most of the time, but can also be a Leo, Aries, again, maybe even a Scorpio, a representation of the planet Jupiter, which is the ruler of Sagittarius, or maybe, again, Mars. And pages talk about and represent, you know, they bring news. So this one brings news of an opportunity. Masculine is surrounded by the 10 of air, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. You may be recovering from addiction. This means like something toxic, codependent is coming to an end for him. Maybe one of those karmic past life issues. This is like karmic completion. In his subconscious, the 3 of water, a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, the need to have more fun. Maybe he can't wait until this is over so he can get back out and enjoy himself. Just feel better, feel more at peace. Feminine crowned by the page of air, who is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. The page of air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. So someone likened to those traits or attributes. And again, pages bring news. This one brings new information, new communication, new ideas, something, wisdom, truth. So looking at this is interesting because, again, the page of fire for me, pages are the more youthful of a given element in the tarot. And so I attach the pages to the more youthful of, you know, the actual element of the zodiac. So that's why this is Sagittarius for me, and this is Gemini. Sagittarius and Gemini truly are mirror signs. And so it's interesting to see them here mirroring one another. But it's coming to me also that this 10 of air can be represent some sort of betrayal or hurt, maybe specifically having something to do with a relationship between a fire sign and an air sign, and maybe more specifically a Sagittarius and a Gemini. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a friendship gone awry. There's some sort of hurt. And the masculine looking forward to bettering the situation, to remedying that, and maybe having some sort of reunion. The 3 of water for me can be about reunion and getting back together. 10 of air can, again, a card of betrayal. Also, since the page of air in particularly is about news, right? Pages bring news, but this is news about news. This is about information. And you could be, the feminine, I feel, could be awaiting some sort of information. Waiting to hear something, and based on the readings that I've done recently and you guys' response to them, because I felt all this sort of legality surrounding particularly the masculine. Then he may have to go to family court. He may even have to go to criminal court in some cases, or he's waiting for some sort of financial settlement, I also felt. And I think all of the above, I heard back from you guys. Yeah, you know, my man has this going on, has that going on. So that could be what she's awaiting too. Waiting the answer to what's going to happen with his case. And that can be another reason why twin flame showed up as an obstacle, because you got this heavy stuff going on in your life and waiting for it to be over so that the masculine can celebrate, right? This is also a card of celebration and being social, waiting for this to end so he can get back to life. And so the relationship is too difficult on which to focus right now. It hurts. It hurts to think about, like, what's going to happen there if I got to go to jail? What's going to happen there if I don't have any money? You know, if I lose my shirt in some sort of whatever he has going on, right? What's going to happen there? Maybe if we're not up to the actual legal part yet, but if I, you know, do divorce, if I don't divorce, what happens to my relationship here? What happens to my relationship here? If there's children, if there's whatever involved, what happens with them? And so I can't focus on this twin flame thing right now. Right? It's a distraction. And it's painful. Yeah, so all that just came out. Okay. Surrounding the feminine. Oh, there we go. The 9 of air. So she could, again, she's nervous about something. She's anxious about something. Maybe waiting for an answer. What's he going to do? Is he going to, you know, is everything going to be all right with him? Is he going to be with me? Whatever. And she could be going through some stuff on her own too, because again, we're all dealing with these karmic issues and have a need for healing as individuals as well. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies and sleepless nights. Again, we have the ability to manifest. You can manifest negativity as easily as you can manifest positivity. It's all about what you're thinking and speaking over your life. So we want to get rid of this. If this is us, this applies to you. I mean, it's a general reading. So, you know, it can and won't apply to every single person in the same way, especially. But this applies to you. You're up all night because you're nervous about this decision or news that you're awaiting or something you have to say yourself. You know, how do I spit this out? Try to turn those feelings around, change the perspective and make it something more positive and manifest things that are more positive and a more positive outcome here too. Like this situation could use your positive energy being contributed to it. And that's a way to be a support system, even if you can't physically be there or something like that. Feminine subconscious communication coming and things going on behind the scenes that you don't know about, you're not involved about. And it could be Jupiter, you know, or some other karmic energy. This is the 8 of fire. Again, 8's all about karma, justice, abundance. 8 of fire, always positive, at least as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's never, ever, ever been a negative card for me. It is about things going on behind the scenes, the universe working things out for us. It's also about communication that can be on its way. Events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. We're not in the same element, but we do have a progression here as well. 8, 9, 10 in that order. Crowning. It's another. Now we're in the same element. 8, 9, 10. This is, yeah, we're potentially feeling stuck, restricted. I'm limited by my situation, by my circumstance. I can't move forward. But that's not really true, actually. But that's how it appears. That's the feeling. And that's what the feminine is manifesting for herself as well. An illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence and being afraid to take action. At the root, King of Fire is back. So again, this can apply specifically to the divine masculine, and he can be at the root. It's all about him right now. We're just waiting to find out what's going to be his situation before we can do anything else. Again, that's not really true. You have options. You just have to seek them. How can I maneuver out of this? What positive can I manifest into my life that can help me to better my situation? I did a lot of talking in the beginning about like the easy way out or being strategic and putting some energy and effort behind what you want. Focus, focus, focus. Yes, that's going to help you. Communicate with vision. And be a leader. Also, if you can, take advice from someone creative if you get the opportunity. The King of Fire, again, is a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, maybe a Scorpio, or it can be representative of the actual planets or other energies that will come into play. Mars, Jupiter. At the heart of the matter, the 9 of Earth. Enjoying life's little luxuries. Spending quiet time alone and successful self-employment. This can be a card of the fact that, again, we need to spend some time alone and work on ourselves. Even if we're in contact and whatever, but there's a lot of attention that we need to give to ourselves, and that's going to help to support the other as well. Especially if our energy is funky, we don't need to exchange that. Not, you know, in trying times. Especially, we're going to want to get better before we share our energy. So the 9 of Earth is about that. It's about, you know, hanging out with you, spending time with you, getting to know you so you can like you, so you can love you, you know, so you can really enjoy being with you, yourself and you. And that way, that will also enable you to have better relationships with other people too. But further clarify these, or attempt to at least, The Doreen Virtue Romance Angels, beginning with attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So this is about the energy of the law of attraction, actually, and manifestation of positive things into your life. In order to get there, to do that, you may need to retreat. You may need to spend some time by yourself so you can get your energy together. It's time to disconnect from the world. Retreat. And soulmate. And this is the purpose. Yes, this is your soulmate. So you got some work to do. Retreat. But it's worth waiting for. So even if you can't rush to each other right now, things are coming together. Things are going on behind the scenes in which you're not involved. And when, you'll find at the end, when they do come together, that it was worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Retreat. I'm going to cut. And this is about the ascension. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Because as we put this energy into ourselves, it does. Overall energy is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So again, your positive thoughts and positive speaking over your life, not the negative. That's what brings you together. The positive, law of attraction, manifestation. Think about that. Like, be always like aware of it. Atop the page of fire, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So this can be about being particularly expressive, again, because of perhaps the Venus in Leo or the Mercury in Leo. Both will cause us to be really passionate about our desires and express ourselves fully. Atop the 10 of air, true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. And so, again, this is about this getting better. And freeing ourselves of the codependent situation because we have something real waiting for us. So it's time to let go of this fake one that was not truth and that betrayed us, that hurt us. Atop the 3 of water, what I was talking about, the expression, express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And again, the masculine looking forward to being able to do this, to being able to maybe reunite or to be social, to spend more time after this little bump in the road is crossed. Atop the page of air, very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So this news and information may be going toward a decision for some of us. Atop the 9 of air and all the worry, soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. And this energy is mirroring as well, because over here we had the 10 of air and that worry and pain and feeling of betrayal and, codependent negative energy that it was attached to, wanting to break away from that. And that's clarified by true love that awaits. And here, atop this worry and negativity, potentially, is the soulmate. So, again, wanting to let go of that old funky energy and move higher into love, ascending higher into love. Atop the 8 of fire, romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So maybe you will communicate them. Again, it's about communication. Atop the 8 of air and the energy of restriction, boom! Exactly what it is sits atop it. Codependency. And it crosses this other energy of codependency we've been talking about for the masculine. Addictions are affecting your romantic life, whether they are to an actual substance, because I often this is the first thing people think of, or any person, any place upon which you are codependent, with which you have a toxic relationship, or vice versa, they're codependent upon you. That's what it is. It's also the thoughts that are limiting you too. You can have a codependent relationship with yourself, with negative energy. You got to, again, free your mind. The rest will follow, as they say. Let go of that 9 of air stuff. At the root, atop this king of fire. Release your ex. Now, for some, this is expression. This is expression. Like the express your love that sits next to it. It's a EX, right? Expression. For others, this is an actual X. And I think particularly on the masculine side, again, getting rid of this person that was a pain in the ass and that was toxic to make way for this. And the feminine here worried about whether or not that's what you're going to do. At the heart of the matter, top the 9 of earth, religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. And I think what this is meaning most right now is the fact that you need to spend some time with yourself and go within and decide whether or not you can break free of your belief systems and your ideologies, because some of them are restricting you. They are holding you back. You're married to these like principles that don't align with your life anymore. Further clarify a little bit more. Beginning with the energy of twin flame and Angus with my Ascended Masters deck, and opening right away to health and healing with Hilarion. Twin flame and go now, right? Break away from whatever it is that's holding you back, says Serapis Bay. And maybe go now toward the twin flame too. Twin flame, take charge of this situation, says Moses, right? Don't allow yourself to be manipulated, like, like a puppet with the strings. You got to take charge of the situation. Twin flame, artistic expression, says Paul the Venetian. So again, passionate and creative ways to express yourself, new ways coming from the Gemini moon, new means of expression and communication. And now we've become even better about it because we're more passionate about it now that Leo has also entered the picture. Twin flame, one more. Back to go now. So we shouldn't be wasting any more time on this. Serapis Bay means business. On that note, having gone 180, 360, I'm gonna cut. Drink more water, says Oshun. So again, this is about the ascension. Whenever she comes through and says to drink more water, it's because we have to remain hydrated. Always, humans need to. But especially when we're going through ascension, water is super, super important. Overall energy is fertility and Pan, to the birth of new things. Also, similar to that other birth card, which is also like death and rebirth to me. Again, especially with the Pentecostal dove, I think about, with the dove, it makes me think about the Pentecost and the death and then birth again, or rebirth rather, of Jesus and the quote unquote other saints. That's the energy of Scorpio, death and rebirth. And that's what this is too, for me. Fertility and Pan versus the Scorpios, they can be super, super horny. That's why I connected with the Pan. But fertility and Pan also about, the new, giving birth to new things, new ideas, new circumstances, new relationships, new living situations, new jobs, just new energy, period. New, healthier energy. And leaving the old behind, letting it die. And letting the old you die too. Like the that T.I. song, The Old Me Is Dead and Gone. That's exactly what we're looking for to happen right now. Atop getting to know each other and the Page of Fire is crystals and Epona. So this also connected to healing. And you may want to work with some sort of quartz or something. You can look up, I guess, other crystals that would be helpful with communication. Definitely clear quartz, and then as it relates more specifically to love, rose quartz. Atop true love and the 10 of air, about that betrayal, about that attack. Clear and shield your energy, says El Moria. So this is about you as an individual and about you as your union. You're going to want to do some energy healing. And, you know, feminine, you may want to do this for him or help him with this. You know, you can get energy healing on behalf of him or your union or yourself. And when your energy is healed, you know, by extension, some of it helps him. That's all of that is possible, because Buddha is coming through with something similar. So it's more about healing. Meditate. This whole row. Crystals, clear and shield your energy, meditate. And that's going to help him to be more expressive too when this energy is healed. It'll probably, you know why? I think because it'll help to help him to, like, as they say, breathe easier and be more at peace. And so he won't be worried about this situation he has going on. And if you're not like overly focused on it in a negative way, these things tend to work out. I think that's why this is important. Atop very soon and the Page of Air for the feminine, stay focused. Stay focused, says Kuthumi, in a positive way. I can't emphasize that enough, like how the thoughts have to be really, really positive. And anything that you speak about yourself has to be positive too. Atop soulmate and the 9 of air. Yes, says Ganesh. So we already said, yes, this is your soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Yes, he agrees. And yes, he's going to remove obstacles, or help you to remove obstacles like this from out of your way so that you can bring this thing together. Atop romantic feelings and the 8 of fire is yoga, which is also a means of meditation. And here we have more of this mirroring energy of healing here. Yoga and meditation kind of go hand in hand, at least as far as I'm concerned. Atop codependency and the 8 of air, which reflects it, nurture yourself. So more about healing, says Mother Mary. Work on you. And not a mistake that it's sitting here right atop this 9 of earth too, which again is about spending time with you to work on you. Atop the King of Fire and release your ex here at the root. Mother, wife, sister, daughter, Lady Nada. So we have, which can be ourselves in either case, whether we are male or female, masculine, feminine alike, we have a feminine energy with whom we have to heal a relationship. That feminine energy can be ourself, and that's reflected here again by the 9 of earth that sits right here atop this card. It can also be, again, masculine, maybe like your ex, your spouse, you know, whomever this betrayal represents, your miserable relationship, your codependent relationship, your codependent situation may involve a mother, wife, sister, daughter, a feminine energy with whom you have a relationship to heal. So again, it goes back, the whole thing goes back to healing over and over and over again. The heart of the matter atop religious factors and the 9 of earth is you are seeing this situation accurately, says Horus. And no mistake, there's a huge full moon here right in the center of our reading. So what Horus comes through to say, Horus, the representation also of the third eye, what he comes through to say is what you're viewing through your third eye and through the 2 that you have. That, you know, the scriptures also say, let those who have eyes see. That's what he's saying. now that you've seen it, what are you going to do? You're seeing it accurately. Now you got to follow through and, follow the guidance that you've also seen. I want to put these cards back and shuffle them quickly, do our advice a little bit differently this week. There's the World, that fire energy that indicates we've overstayed our welcome. We stayed in a situation or a relationship or circumstance or something too long. We allowed ourselves to be bound by it. Like, this is the energy of the devil, being restricted, held back. This card also represents the sign of Capricorn, so appropriately. But whatever this is, that we were held back and we were restricted like the devil, tied us down, a codependent situation, an addiction even. The universe stepping in with this very karmic energy of fire to pull us out, slowly but surely, out of this situation. The World. The King of Fire, who's trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work. Charity work, as far as I'm concerned, is love. Anytime we give or receive of ourselves, without agenda, that's love. King of Water. And right back to the Page of Air, who again is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious, and represents the sign of Gemini specifically for me, but of course can also be a Libra, Aquarius, or anybody likened to these traits or attributes. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. Very appropriately, the overall energy is the King of Earth, who's generous, professional, responsible, and practical, and a Capricorn, quite possibly maybe a Virgo or Taurus as well. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. A good time to apply for credit, to, go for a new job. There can be a King of Earth, an earth sign that is instrumental in helping to bring about some of these things for you. Maybe they're the loan officer, they are the recruiter, they are the person who opens your application for a credit card or whatever it is, or who thinks about you if a job becomes open or something like that, and says, gives you a call and says, hey, I thought, your name came up for this position because I was reminded that you're capable of doing this thing. All that kind of stuff comes from the energy of the King of Earth. So that's the overall. That's very nice. So for both the masculine and the feminine, we'll take a look at with what energy we are entering the full moon, and what positive can we expect to have gone through by the time of the new moon, July 13th. And then maybe just an overall outcome for each. And this will be our advice from this deck. So with what energy is the masculine entering this period of the Capricorn full moon and these retrogrades? Nice. The Six of Air. Now, this is the third card of travel, I think, to come up for the masculine. He had the actual travel card, and I said some of them may travel for real, but otherwise it's about revisiting. There was something else that made me think about travel with the masculine. Oh, I don't think I said it aloud. The Three of cups that was in his subconscious, and wanting to get together with people, wanting to reunite, wanting to be social. I had connected that in my head potentially with the energy of that travel card that came up for him too. And we do have a holiday here in the United States that I didn't even think about, but next week, which is certainly, you know, in this period of the full moon, is Independence Day here in the United States, the 4th of July. And so that can definitely be what the travel is about, if it's actual travel. But this is movement too, in a metaphorical sense as well. This is just wanting to move forward and actually finally doing it. You know, coming out of like that energy of the 10 of air, and that's coming to an end. And now, you know, that says expect to be in a better situation. And then this says the same, like you're moving into calmer, stiller waters. Things are looking up, and, you know, you should feel positive and look at the situation positively, right? Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. With what energy is the feminine entering the full moon in Capricorn? We may be taking a trip too. The Chariot, major arcana card number 7, with Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, maybe even public recognition. The Chariot is a card of movement as well. And I love how these horses are facing one another. On a separate note, these, the masculine's horses on the 6 of air facing forward, and ours sort of facing backwards. So we can meet somewhere in the middle, maybe literally. And look at this huge full moon here. Now, the Chariot is about taking life, you know, by the reins, right? And you're in the driver's seat of your own life. It can also have to do with actual modes of transportation. Speaking of driving, planes, trains, automobiles. Something can come up with your car. It might be a time for you to get a new car, or that's the energy that's surrounding you. I talked about speeding tickets and stuff before too. You maybe just want to be conscious, people on the road, especially in the holidays, in America, again, United States, around the holidays, 4th of July in particular. People are going to barbecues, they're drunk. Be careful on the road. But I don't see anything, you know, overly serious happening with anybody, but just be mindful of that. You know, maybe tickets. I'm not talking about anybody getting hurt or anything, but like maybe a ticket, speeding ticket, something. Traffic ticket. And where that occurs, I feel like you ultimately would get out of it, but you don't even want to have to go through it. Other than that, this card can be about travel. You could be visiting perhaps the masculine or just other family, people, you know, around whom you'd like to be surrounded. And where you're not, it's still a card of movement. Some of us can be moving house and stuff too, or moving jobs. It's travel, movement, moving, and modes of transportation. Also victory. It's a major card of victory. And what is something the masculine, you know, can look forward to? Positive change in time for the new moon, July 13th. Strength, with Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, instead exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Major Arcana card number 11, strength, represents the sign of Leo. So we're still having this energy surrounding us, and particularly the masculine, of air and fire. And that may mean something too. This person, I mean, this strength may be an actual person, maybe a character, and perhaps a direct fire sign, and maybe even more specifically a Leo. Similarly, for the feminine, the Chariot represents the sign of Cancer, and 7 can be about the month of July and the sign of Cancer too. And what is something the feminine can look forward to in time for the new moon, July 13th? The Knight of Fire. Passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. It may be connected to the masculine strength. Again, strength represents this fire sign, Leo. So we have these mirroring one another. But it can also have something to do with the energy of Aries, Sagittarius, maybe even Scorpio. And perhaps the planets themselves, Mars, Jupiter. And like an overall outcome, so to speak, for the masculine here as it relates to this guidance and advice. More victory. And these cards are mirroring one another too. The Six of Fire is a card of victory, and the Chariot is a card of victory, and they mirror. Additionally, the masculine both crowned and rooted by a 6. 6 equals love. Victory, good news, it's on its way, public recognition or award. So I say again to you, masculine, whatever this situation is that you are going through, and it looks like you're all going through something, but not necessarily the same thing. And in large part, it's some sort of legality, right? Or some authority is somehow involved, and you just gotta make it through and close this chapter, this part of your life. You just something, some sort of karmic lesson that has to be completed, and that's all there is. But again, stay positive about it, because you are going to end up on the better end of it. Like whatever's the best possible outcome for you, that's what I'm seeing you can expect. And I've not just this time, I've done a few readings this week, and I've seen it over and over and over again, that's what you can expect. So that should help to lift everyone's spirits, or at least I hope. And overall for the feminine, the Magician. Again, the Magician for me represents the sign of Gemini, but I also connected to the other mutable signs, because we're all capable. The mutable signs are capable of taking on the traits of any other sign in the zodiac, and I most attribute it to Gemini because Gemini is a twin. So it's like whatever anybody else can do, we can do to the second power. But it's about bringing what you need into your life, bringing the energy you need, the tools, the supplies, the wherewithal, whatever you need in order to move forward. You can achieve it just by your thoughts and your words and what you speak and think over your life. So again, this can represent the mutable signs too. Sagittarius, Pisces, also Virgo. And when I picked up the King of Earth, guess what was here? What was back? The Ace of Fire. An exciting new opportunity. Career advancement. Change your life now. It doesn't have to be career advancement. It can be anything, any kind of new opportunity for us. A new blessing, a new start. Birth of a new thing. And it's something about which, or someone about which, we are extremely passionate. That's what this is. And when I picked it up behind it, it's another ace. It's the Ace of Air. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth of a situation and a challenging beginning. So the Ace of Air is about, again, a brand new start. But sometimes it's a start that was difficult getting to. But remember, it's the end of the difficulties. That's what the 10 of Air showed us. That's what the 6 of Air showed us. Now, the road might still be bumpy starting off, but it's a new beginning. And again, it's something about which we're really passionate. And it's just air and fire again, too. So that's not a mistake. And also upright behind it is the King of Fire, who's motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic, and may be the divine masculine, part of this. Although the feminine can have this energy too, although it's the king. Focus, 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 communicate with vision, and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire, like the Knight here, is a Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, or maybe a Scorpio. Also up right behind that, the 3 of Water. I shuffled these again. You saw me. I cut them in six again too. You saw me. A celebration, a wedding, a graduation, or a birth announcement. The need to have more fun. This could be celebrating the new start. Again, this can be reconciliation, reunion with loved ones, perhaps your partner. The 8 of Fire is next, also upright. Events behind the scenes. And moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. This is also a card of communication, and it's another 8. So it's about our karmic experiences, our karmic lessons, and that karmic completion, and the universe stepping in to help us. Behind that, also upright, another 8. It's Major Arcana card, the Star, yet again. Our prayers are being answered. Our wishes are being granted. Our dreams are coming true. and we're communicating. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. Are we done yet? No. The page of earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. So also money is coming in, which we already knew because our overall energy was the king of earth. But money's coming in, opportunities to go to school or to learn something new or to live life in a different way, new experiences. I'm trying, you know, life is school too. And we're going to try something different. Again, the new opportunities. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging. It may be a new area of study. Card still coming up upright. The High Priestess. Another 2 or 11. Like our masculine's strength card here. Major Arcana card strength. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. The High Priestess represents the sign of Gemini for me, or maybe a water sign, and first and foremost Cancer, where it does represent a water sign. Of course, it can also be Pisces and Scorpio as well. The High Priestess is about wisdom and using it wisely, like coming into information like a Gemini, like a page of air, and not necessarily revealing everything you know, just observing. And not that you're being sneaky or whatever, just, you know, just observing and retaining information and then using it, you know, to your best ability in furthering yourself and the higher good. That's what the High Priestess does. She also pays really, really close attention to your intuition and her intuition, and guides you to do the same. And also 2s are about faith and partnership. So it's related to those issues as well. Page of Fire behind that. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. So again, this opportunity coming up. Don't let this 8 halt you. This is an illusion of being trapped. An illusion. It's a veil. And look at all this powerful energy. This is nothing. Cannot stand up to this ever, unless we allow it to. An illusion of being trapped. A lack of self-confidence and being afraid to take action. If only you are willing to take action, you have all of this to look forward to. I hope you guys have enjoyed our full moon in Capricorn reading. Namaste, angels.
Make it to the top, yeah. All the haters, yeah, they see me